Workspaces provide a way for you to not only customize the positioning of panels within Illustrator, but to save them as well. This is an extremely helpful tool for cases when you like to use certain panels for certain tasks, but different panels for other tasks. By utilizing workspaces in Illustrator, you can quickly change the panel and shortcut configurations when needed. So I'm beginning this video with Illustrator already open on my computer, and the workspace can be changed and adjusted two different places. One area is up here in the application bar. You see that we have a button which is called the workspace switcher, and you can also access these by going to the window menu and choosing workspace and then picking from the list. So for example, right now I have the Essentials workspace active, and if you don't have it active, go ahead and click on that button and choose Essentials, and then click on it one more time and choose Reset Essentials. And that's going to basically change your Illustrator configuration back to the way that Illustrator ships when you first install it on your computer. Now, there are other workspaces available up here. So if we click on this button, and let's say we choose Typography, and you'll see that all of your panels change to display the way that the Typography workspace has been defined. Let's go ahead and do one more. We'll click on that. Let's go ahead and choose Painting. And as you can see, this shows us a totally different configuration over here. So let's go ahead and go back to our Essentials workspace, and we're going to create our own workspace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over the left edge of my panel dock here. I'm just going to open it up because I like to see the names of my panels. And we're going to add a couple of panels to our configuration. So for example, I'm going to go to the window menu, and I'm going to open up my Links panel, because I use this panel quite a bit when working in Illustrator. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Links tab here, and I'm going to drag it down, and I'm going to go ahead and dock this underneath my Artboards panel. And we can go ahead and close the Actions panel for now. We'll go ahead and go back to the window menu again, and I think I would also like to display the Align panel. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Align, and I like to use the Align panel in a certain way, and quite honestly, all three of these panels are utilized sometimes in conjunction with one another. So this time, I'm going to click on the title bar because I'm going to dock the whole group. But instead of docking it down here at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and position my cursor along the left edge of my panel dock, and that's going to dock these panels as well. But to streamline how this looks and to free up some screen real estate, I'm going to click on the double arrow right here, and then I'm going to hover along the left edge, and I'm going to drag till it snaps to a single column or a single button view. And let's go ahead and do one more. We'll go to Window, and let's go ahead and open up the Attributes panel. And I'm going to go ahead and drag that, and I'll go ahead and dock this down here. We can go ahead and close our document info. Now, I'm not by any stretch trying to tell you that this is how you should configure your interface. This is just an example. But what I'm trying to convey here is that you can customize the interface however you want it to look as you're working inside of Illustrator. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to save my workspace. So to do that, either from the window menu, Workspace, or by just clicking on the Workspace button up here, I'm going to choose New Workspace. And I'm going to give this a workspace name. I'm going to call this Illustrator LBV. And we'll go ahead and click OK. And you'll notice that now in my workspace switcher button, it says Illustrator LBV. Now, what does that do for me? Well, if I'm working and I start moving things around, which often happens as you're working in Illustrator, especially when you're first starting to get familiar with the program, you'll realize that at a certain point you've got all these panels that have been rearranged, and maybe you docked some over here on the left side of your interface. And at a certain point you might say, you know what, I just want to get back to the way that I originally saved my workspace, or to a clean state. So for example, let's say we want to go back to the Essentials workspace. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Workspace button up here, and I'm going to choose Essentials. and it didn't quite go back to exactly what Essentials was defined as. So I'm going to click on that button again and choose Reset Essentials. And that's going to reset it back to the default configuration of that workspace. Now, if I want to get back to my Illustrator LBV workspace, I can simply click on this button and choose Illustrator LBV, and that's going to reconfigure that the way that I had set it. Now, you'll notice that we still have what I'm going to refer to as the overrides of these panels. And so to clean it up and make it look exactly how this workspace was defined, we simply click on this button and choose Reset Illustrator LBV. And when I do that, it's going to go right back to the way that I initially saved this workspace. So, although it's not required to save workspaces, I think you'd agree that it can save you time, help you to work more efficiently, and help you to get back to a known good state of the Illustrator interface when you need to.